No one can deny that women test men. Whether it's to ascertain a man's worth, assess his interest, or just for fun. They continuously put men through their paces because Sigma men tend to exude mystery and are frequently challenging to decipher. Women find it quite challenging to comprehend what they're thinking. Women are frequently intrigued to their mysterious nature but are unsure of how to engage them. This frequently prompts them to put Sigma men to the test in order to determine his level of interest and character. Women are trying to figure out the secret to breaking the Sigma's guard. Sigma males are thought of as being distant and indifferent because of their high levels of independence and privacy. There is no way that this is true. In fact, they are the top partners available. They are really devoted and helpful, understanding when to leave space and when to be present. Here are 9 covert ways in which women test Sigma guys. She first puts him to the test by making him feel confident. While some women might express this openly, others might do so in a more covert manner. Because Sigma men are renowned for having unwavering confidence, women frequently put them to the test by contesting their beliefs or thoughts. She might also play the role of the devil's advocate to make him question his actions. While it may seem annoying, this is essentially a woman's attempt to comprehend him better. She is testing his ability to remain composed under pressure. Because they think logically, Sigma men can quickly see through a woman's tests. They are able to stay one step ahead because they always know what to do next. Women don't realize that Sigmas frequently take these difficulties as a chance to learn more about their thoughts and how they think. For them, it resembles a mental boxing match. Their brilliance and quick wit frequently disarm women, leaving them more interested. They are always attempting to stay one step ahead. This is one of the factors contributing to women's attraction to Sigma guys. A sharp wit and an intelligent mind are immensely appealing. Appearances are one thing. A Sigma shines the brightest when their minds are engaged, and this is when their confidence truly shines through. 2. She gives ambiguous messages. Women frequently use this technique to assess guys. To watch how he responds, they will use contradictory messages. She might, for instance, be hot one second and freezing the next. She might show some interest in him one day and then become entirely uninterested the next. This is all a woman does to gauge a man's level of interest in her and how far she will go to win him over. Men frequently become engrossed in the games and begin to question their actions. They can start to question if they are acting appropriately or whether they are misreading the circumstance. Here is where the men of Sigma excel. They frequently recognize through these activities and reject participating. This enables individuals to keep their state of mind and focus on their objectives. They will inform her that they won't put up with her nonsense and that she must either take a leadership role or leave. Usually, she either becomes more intrigued or withdraws completely as a result. In either case, Sigmas benefit from the scenario. They are skilled at effectively screening women and are not hesitant to let them go if they are not a suitable fit. They won't ever waste their time pursuing someone who gives them conflicting signals. They can concentrate their efforts on more fruitful pursuits thanks to this enormous time saver. 3. She treats him with silence. At this point, she has entirely disregarded him and is acting as like he doesn't exist. She might act in this way in response to something he said or did, or she might act in this way out of pure randomness. In either case, it's a testing method. The objective is to observe his response and determine whether or not he will yield to her demands. The Sigma is not the kind of man to tolerate such nonsense. He is aware that the silent treatment is only an attention-seeking tactic used by children. He will frequently continue to ignore her until she falls asleep and leaves. In rare instances, he might even reply to her silence. Usually, this is a surefire way to get her to quickly crawl back to him and beg for pardon. One of the many games that women play is the silent treatment. While women frequently utilize this game as a very effective means of controlling males, it has no effect whatsoever on male Sigmas, who adore their alone time. They may believe that being treated in silence is a blessing in disguise. It offers them an opportunity to unwind quietly. Since it gives them a much-needed break from some women's continuous speech, some Sigmas might even find the silence treatment enjoyable. The silent treatment is not as effective as women once believed it to be at this point, when they get a taste of their own medicine. 4. She employs reversal psychology. This is another standard ruse employed by women to test males. To gauge his response, they will say one thing while really meaning the other. She might, for instance, pretend to be looking for nothing serious while she is actually. She might also appear uninterested in an effort to entice him to pursue her. This is all a woman does to gauge a man's level of interest in her and how far she will go to win him over. When it comes to reverse psychology, Sigma guys are frequently one step ahead because they are able to see through the pretense and comprehend what a woman is truly trying to communicate. This enables them to maintain their composure and avoid getting sucked into the games. Reverse psychology is simply another chance for Sigma men to demonstrate their intelligence and interpersonal skills. They view it as a challenge and frequently take pleasure in learning a woman's true thoughts. When people can see through her ruse, they frequently find it humorous and frequently find themselves grinning in the face of difficulty. Despite the fact that some women may find this disarming, it just serves to increase. Women can't help but try reverse psychology on a Sigma male, despite the fact that it's frequently a useless endeavor. 5. She deliberately disagrees with him on every point. This is a challenging one. Women will frequently dispute with a man on everything in an effort to test him. While many guys failed this test as a result of engaging in an argument with her after taking her bait, Sigma men frequently wonder if she's actually doing it on purpose or if this is her perspective. They frequently find themselves in challenging circumstances because they value independent women who have strong ideas. They'll pay attention to her viewpoint and make an effort to comprehend it. Although they might not always agree with her, they will at least attempt to understand her point of view. Of course, Sigma realizes the solution right away. In these situations, if the woman is merely attempting to cause a fight, he will typically just acquiesce for the sake of peace and then go on. This form of assessment is frequently ineffective since Sigma guys don't seem to become easily agitated or defensive. They are adept at maintaining composure and avoid getting into pointless arguments. Additionally, they frequently excel at diffusing hostile situations. If she hasn't already, she will soon understand the Sigma character. He is not someone who is easily deceived or coerced. He can see through her tricks and typically comes out on top in these circumstances. Of course, there are occasions when a woman will act tough merely for the sake of acting difficult. In these circumstances, the Sigma just disappears, leaving her to fend for alone. Attempting to reason with someone who is obviously not interested in sensible debate is pointless. 6. She checks his attentiveness by putting him to the test. At this point, she attempts to gauge how much real attention he is giving her. She might alter her conduct or appearance multiple times to see whether he notices. She can also make suggestions about what she needs or wants and see if he notices. She frequently gets furious and charges him with not paying enough attention to her if he doesn't. The kind of man that is always paying attentive is the Sigma. He is extremely perceptive. Even the slightest elements can have positive and negative effects. It's advantageous since he is constantly alert and informed of what is happening. It's negative because he might occasionally come off as suspicious or paranoid as a result. Compared to other men, Sigma guys are exceptionally perceptive and frequently think more critically. They are more likely to pick up on details that other people might miss. Regardless of whether it's a shift in someone's behavior or a minor thing that others could pass by. They are outstanding leaders in part because of this. They have a broad perspective and are constantly alert to their surroundings. Because they are constantly paying attention, Sigma males frequently succeed on this test without even being aware of it. Any modifications will typically be noticed by them. However, this can occasionally be a problem because she might feel uncomfortable if he's being overly watchful. 7. She wants to try to sway his thinking. She tries to persuade him to view things her way at this point. She might attempt to sway his opinion by appealing to reason or emotion. When he refuses, she frequently becomes agitated and calls him uncooperative or obstinate. The Sigma is a man who holds his beliefs with great tenacity. He isn't easily persuaded and is aware of his beliefs. He is perceptive and open to hearing other people's perspectives, yet he will always act on his own judgment. She often only tries this test once. She will give up if he doesn't give in. She is aware that it is pointless to spend time attempting to persuade him to change his viewpoint. Naturally, there aren't many things she can do to genuinely influence his decision. On rare occasions, she might be able to persuade him to see things her way, but for the most part, he will stick to his position. She leaves him in the dark in order to gauge his emotional commitment. She isn't certain if she wants to be in a relationship at this point. She might play him for a fool and hold him captive, gauging his level of tenacity and toleration to see how much he can take. He won't ever put her under undue strain or make her want to be with him. A Sigma male is the kind of man who is aware that everything will work out if it is meant to. He doesn't have to exert any pressure. He won't wait around indefinitely, though, if too much time goes by and she continues to utilize this infantile test. And he won't put up with her tricks. Even though Sigma man is patient, he is not a pushover. He is self-aware and won't put up with being mistreated. 9. She pushes his limits. At this point, she attempts to push him to the limit to see how far he will go. She might make him feel uncomfortable with her words or deeds. She is trying to gauge his reaction, whether it is by stepping over the line with her words or acts. The Sigma is aware of his limitations and will not put up with being pushed outside of them. He will be extremely clear about what is and is not acceptable and is very strong with his boundaries. Depending on how far she is pushing him, he might even need to put his foot down and leave the situation. While Sigma males also challenge limits, they do so in a different setting, and women frequently utilize this to manipulate men. Before he eventually sets his foot on the gas, they want to see how much they can get away with. Typically, she utilizes this as a test before using it as a power move to assert her dominance over him. It frequently intensifies fast into a control game. If a man doesn't take a strong stance, things could get out of hand very soon. This frequently occurs with beta males who are too timid to assert themselves. Sigma males typically see right through it, but some alpha males may not realize it's a test and may respond forcefully. Sigma won't allow her to manipulate him with her tricks because he is skilled at handling these circumstances.